Hello, Cancer. Welcome to Karma on Deck. I'm Karma. This is going to be your Cancer reading for the week of September 17th. So let us take a look and see what kind of energy you have pulling this week and set the tone here. So let's take a look. Here we go, Cancer. We have a Cosmo. All right, here we go, Cancer. This is for you. King of Cups. So King of Cups usually is the card that I talk about EQ when I see it talking about emotional IQ. Having had some mastery when it comes to your emotions and being able to articulate what you think, what you feel, what you mean, and being able to ride that in such a way that you don't feel as if your emotions are overwhelming, right? So I'm seeing King of Cups. So emotions are coming up for you. We have the Six of Cups, which is your celebration. We have the Knight of Cups. So the interesting thing between these two is we have the King of Cups and the Knight of Cups. So you might find yourself waffling between these two energies. And what I mean by that, hi, Mikey, is the Knight of Cups is that immature feeling that you have. It's the sensation that, like women would understand this, and sorry to be graphic, but it's like when you have PMS and you have these uncontrollable urges and emotion that starts to have you feeling like things are unreasonable, or that your emotions are kind of like Mentos in a Coke bottle. Okay, so you feel like you're going to explode and maybe be a little oversensitive, and then you have your flip side where you're doing fine. So you have these two different sides. You have the Ace of Coins, which is coming up for you, which is your money. I'm also seeing Six of Cups, which is you having a little bit of celebration going on. You have some intense worry that's going on for your house and home. You're also worried a little bit about health. You're not sure who to trust during this period in your life right now. You have the Devil card, which usually the Devil card, when it shows up, it's fully dependent on the cards preceding or following it. So what I'm seeing with the Devil card here, and if you guys are on my social media instead of my YouTube, you can go to YouTube and see the cards in play here, what I'm talking about. And I want to move them because they're in a pattern here, but we have the Devil card, okay? And the Devil card is all about habits. It's about having like an addiction or substances or lies, bad habits, somebody arguing, all of those things that come up. And you have this Two of Swords, which is a split decision. You don't feel like you can win. You don't feel like you can move in any direction because it doesn't seem like any path is really going to be as beneficial as you like for it to be. So in turn, what you're doing is isolating a little bit. You have the Hermit card, which is isolation. So maybe you're taking some time for yourself in order to hide out and think about what it is that you want to do. Now, we have the Four of Coins, which is telling us, being too loud. So we have the Four of Coins, and that's telling us that you are really worried about how money is going to come in and how it's going to play out for you, and what is going, like bringing your ideas to fruition. There is a card here, the Strength card. Now that could mean one or two things really, but I'm thinking that it's mostly your worry about health rather than having an event. And a worry about other people's health in the industry that you're in, or just keeping your eye on the pulse of that, so to speak. We have a bunch of cards that tell us that it's time for you to start protecting what's you and yours, so to speak. And that would be more like a protective energy because we have the Empress. And so the Empress is our card that tells us that you're not like, so an Emperor is an outward, forward, go-getting, where the Empress is more like a magnet, and it's more like paying attention to your family. So you might find yourself having a very protective energy. You're looking very closely at the lessons and what things are meaning for you. You might find yourself busier. So there's a difference between being busy and being productive. And you just may be having this period where you feel as if time is getting away from you and nothing's getting done. I do see the Page of Wands, which tells us that you might be doing an education or going back to school for something, or doing a possible training, or if you do CEUs or things like that, it might be some small training that's coming up for you. I have the Wheel of Fortune here, which tells us that times are shifting for you, and you might be finding some things coming into alignment for you very soon. So it's almost like that pregnant pause where you kind of know things are going to come into alignment. You might be feeling this whole shift that's happening. I will say a couple things though. If you look at all of this, there isn't anything really negative going on, but there is a lot of worry on your part. I do want to mention that the Ace of Coins in play tells me that your money's going to be fine, even though you're worried about it. You're like really worried about it, right? And then you have the Moon card over here, which is mapping. And you've heard me say it once, you've heard me say it 1,000 times. Paying attention to where you are and where you're going. You can't know where you're going on a map unless you know where you are. So taking stock and awareness is key. And it's the first thing, right, to making any steps. Let's pull some cards for you from Mystic Dreamer and see what your moon rating is for Cancer Moon. I couldn't decide whether he would be better out there because he screams when he can't hear me, or in here where he's more quiet. Cosmo. Definitely talkative today. My apologies. Peekaboo. Sorry. I'll move him for the next one, guys. So I am doing Leo and Virgo today too. So if you want to hang on for that, if you're Leo or Virgo, book your one-on-one, karmaondeck.com. And come to my YouTube, guys. You'll like it better, I think. All right. Cancer Moon, here we go. Banana. So we have the Page of Wands. Ooh, and the Fool card. Emperor. Two of Pentacles. Again, Two of Pentacles is similar energy as your Two of Swords in the other reading. Usually there's a congruency between your general spread and your moon reading. So we have the Fool card. So here's what's interesting about the Fool card next to the Emperor. The Fool is sum zero. It's the tarot deck. When I teach tarot, I like to tell people that it always goes in a consecutive order and in orderly fashion. And it talks about the different phases of life, but Fool is sum zero. It's crossroads, it's decision making. Like I always say, it's not about the decision that you're making, it's about the potential and the opportunity that's in front of you. So next to the Emperor card. Now, the Cancer moon being think and feel and your emotions so much more. So your Fool card and opportunity is showing up. And it's asking you to take some leadership in it because we have the Emperor, which means Empress, protect and within, and the Emperor is go get, but you have the Two of Pentacles. So for some of you, this might be regards to a job or money because Pentacles regarding money or income. So you have these two paths that you can't decide which one is going to be most beneficial for you, likely related to work because we have the King of Wands. So again, we have the Empress, which is very congruent with the Fate card because the Empress tends to tell us about time, of ripeness, of things being ready. Okay, you're pregnant with ideas, you're pregnant with possibility, and you have all the skill set and time is shifting for you. I see the Death card, which is change. Expect that like a baptism. You do have the Four of Swords, which is an interesting card to have with all this positivity going on. But I think it's because Cancer wants to avoid any catastrophe. We do have the Tower card and the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is all about betrayal. And this could be anything. It could be the boss laying you off. It could be the partner screwing up. It could be, you know, just feeling in general as if you're a victim to circumstance. And again, there's the Two of Swords. So your end card is the Two of Swords for this reading. You also have the Judgment card. So I would recommend you not be too hard on yourself. Everything is perfectly as it should be. We have the Tower card in play. So you're feeling as if the world's about to fall apart. It's like one more house of cards. If you just give it a little push, it feels like everything is going to go shifting. But we have the Strength card. And here's what I want to note about the Strength card. And when I do my readings, there is this explanation that each one of them has and possibilities. And a lot of readers will do reverse meanings. I intuitively keep the cards all upright. I guess I'm just too OCD to let them flop around any just which way they want to. But I tend to intuitively listen when something's of the positive or the negative or the challenging aspect of the card. And I have the Strength card here, and I feel inspired to tell you about the story of the lion. There's an old scripture, a parable that talks about the thorn in the lion's paw, and the person comes along and pulls the thorn. And we use that analogy when we talk about like slaying your demons or being aware of your triggers or your traumas. It's also referencing being friends with an enemy or being friends with the thing that conflicts within you and really starting to like beast master that, so to speak, and being able to master those things that were once having you upside down. And if you notice here, she's got friends with the lions. She's making friends with her past. She's making them her strengths, and she's not letting them be the thing that holds her back. Okay, so this card here, Strength, really isn't about strength in just the really clinical and simplistic word about it. It talks about the chronological, repetitive ability to survive, to thrive, to grow, and it gives you this sense of peace. So I want you to look at all these things that have been going on with you and just know that the Tower card is in play and the Death card too, which tells us there is big changes. Now, the one thing that I do see for you, Cancer, is the Four of Swords, which is quiet. It's my ghosting card. It's the card that tells us that you're not talking to people or you're hiding out. Snow White, okay, she's off in the woods and chilling, and she's not going to talk until she has the perfect scenario. You're feeling the same way. So if you find yourself withdrawing, and if you remember correctly, you had the Hermit in the general spread, and that's what I was saying is isolation, where you're taking this opportunity to really think and isolate and play with your ideas and think for yourself and decide what it is you want to do. Maybe you're not ready. You know, some people work in silent and they keep their moves close to the chest, and perhaps that's what you're doing right now because the Four of Swords is quiet. Either that, or you're worried about other people not reaching out when you're used to talking to certain individuals. So I would remember my key coaching quote is indecision is a decision, and sometimes one pathway will lose its, like, think of a coupon, it expires, right? Some opportunities lose the potential once we sit on them. So, you know, you can't sit and wait for things to happen to you. Fortune favors the bold. See this shaved head? That's my quote lately. Fortune favors the bold. So walk with me. Take some steps towards your purpose and start leading with your heart and be about it, right? It's going to take a little strength. It's going to take a little mapping, but you got to trust yourself in this one, guys. I'm really feeling like you're on the right path. So let's pull your Divination of the Ancients card. Thank you for hanging out with me. Like I say all the time, like, subscribe, and share. Please come on to my YouTube. So your Dowsing Rods, Seeker. So how this, you know, card plays out is it reminds us to be the seeker. It reminds us to start looking for signs and stepping onto our path. And it also reminds us that never stop seeking, looking for answers. So I want to thank you guys. I will catch you on the flip side. I am going to be doing, like I said, Leo and Virgo today. I've had some requests for Virgo. I jumped around and did Scorpio yesterday. So love and light, guys. I will catch you on the flip side.